So yeah, since the Superman video couldn't upload by the end of last week, you're getting 2 videos this week. Another thing to be thankful for this Thanksgiving, to the few people who actually notice. King Richard, in theaters and on HBO Max, is from director Reynaldo Marcus Green and written by Zach Balan, based on the true story of the rise to fame of iconic tennis stars Venus and Serena Williams, told mostly through the eyes of their father, played by Will Smith, who's been trying to bolster their success. This is a pretty good sports movie. It's an interesting story and it's told pretty well. There is talks of Oscar buzz for Will Smith, and I can't argue with that. My biggest complaint is with the runtime. It's almost 2.5 hours long and it does start to drag in the middle. And I guess looking at the way Smith's character acts, he might not be as likable in real life as he is in the movie. I've seen this point in a few other reviews I've read while making this one. He is maybe a little too much of a pushy dad. I mean, he had already predicted even at the beginning of their careers that they would grow up to be famous. Kind of an arrogant move. Although apparently Venus and Serena were executive producers, so the fact that the story was told this way probably means that they didn't have a problem with him. Either way, it's the strength of the writing and Smith's performance that makes him likable. And in the end, this turns out to be a pretty good sports movie. It's well written and well acted despite being a little long.
My chick bad, tell me if you seen her. She always bring the racket like Venus and Serena.
In the end, there can be only one.
Highlander, there can be only one.
Here we are, we're the princes of the universe.
And now on to the bigger and admittedly more belated one, Eternals, from director Chloe Zhao, fresh off her Best Picture win for Nomadland. She also wrote it along with 3 other people. So yeah, this one is 4 screenwriters, so don't expect another Nomadland this time. Alright, this isn't bad, but it's a disappointment. A weak one for Marvel and definitely a step down for an Oscar winner. I guess it's surprising that this is the first rotten MCU film on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, do people really consider this to be the worst one out of all of them? Granted, I wasn't as enthusiastic about Nomadland as many other people, but I appreciated it. This one has many of both its strengths and flaws. It has nice cinematography and good visuals. Considering how much Zhao is associated with quieter movies, some of the action scenes are actually entertaining. Surprisingly, some of my favorite parts are whenever it's just Eternals versus Deviants. It's also more ambitious in scope. This is the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe, with vast space landscapes and many flashbacks that go back centuries and even millennia. It also takes things a lot more seriously than your average Marvel movie. It's like Marvel's attempt at a Zack Snyder DC movie, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Oh yeah, there's that ridiculously overhyped sex scene that many critics are saying makes this movie more mature somehow. It lasts like 10 seconds, not impactful enough to help the movie, not exploitative enough to hurt it. Once again, scale and tone, that makes this ambitious and mature. But unfortunately, like Nomadland, it does have some pacing issues. It's over 2.5 hours and why am I getting deja vu here? Except in Nomadland, the setting and characters were interesting enough to help keep my attention anyway. The same could not be said for this one. The characters are completely flat. I can barely tell you one thing about any of their personalities. There's also some very cheesy dialogue here. There isn't as little plot as in Nomadland, but it does drag a lot. The word that best describes this movie at its worst is dull. It's like your generic Marvel movie without the humor or energy and in slow motion. But when things are actually happening, it's pretty good. The plot is interesting when it's moving forward, and the effects and action definitely look nice. I was unsure if this would be a positive or negative review, but then I remembered I gave Black Widow 3 stars on Letterboxd, and I liked this more than that one. So this also gets